In France, the latest target of terror, the bloodshed taking place at a church and during morning mass. A priest killed, churchgoers, nuns held hostage. The two attackers say they were acting on behalf of ISIS. Here to discuss, we have CNN contributor Melissa Bell. Now, she is a correspondent and international affairs editor for France 24. We've leaned on you very heavily and often for the worst of reasons. And once again, an attack that really goes to the core of the battle that seems to be raging in the world. How do you see it?
It is another attack, as you say, Chris. There have been so many over the course of the last 18 months here in France. We've covered some of them together. We think of the big ones, of course, but there have been 16 in all that have been linked to Islamist extremism over the course of the last 19 months. That's huge. And beyond the big ones that make the headlines globally, here in France, we're here every few weeks, it seems. We hear about another attack, a beheading, this time an attack in a church. And this has really shocked France, perhaps more than any of the other smaller scale attacks that we've seen over the course of the last few months. Smaller scale, of course, in terms of human cost. We're not talking about the numbers that were involved in Nice or on November 13th or at Charlie Hebdo. One priest killed, Chris, but an 84-year-old man who'd been in service for 50 years, dealing with births, deaths, funerals, marriages. In his community, he was extremely well regarded. He'd once been asked whether he would ever retire. Have you ever heard, he said, of a priest retiring? I will be delivering sermons until my last breath. And that's how it proved.
Well, very often we see these acts of violence as an attack on their own. Extremist Muslims trying to take control of what their faith is. But this is the other and to many more troubling risk, which is Christians being under attack, attacking a priest, obviously a high symbol of that faith. What is the take on this constant theme of their attacking the way of life of the rest of the world?
There is that question of the church being attacked, Chris, and you're right to highlight it. We've seen Christians coming under attack in other parts of the world. I'm thinking of Nigeria by Boko Haram. Of course, in the Middle East, Coptic Christian churches in Egypt have been the particular focus of attack over the last few years. It is the first time in France that we see a successful attack on a church, and this adds to the sense of division. And of course, what the French president